But first, my icebreaker question to you guys is, when did you first actually watch The Chosen?
Well,
this is a great question. And Mitch says right here, he says this.
Because my answer is not great.
He says, my answer is not great, right? This is such an interesting question because I've known a lot of actors throughout the past that have done like movies or whatever, but stuff they don't really care about too much, and so they don't end up watching what they've put out. It's quite interesting to hear these guys' answers for when they first watched The Chosen and what they have watched, because there's actually some stuff in The Chosen universe, all the stuff that The Chosen has put out or that Dallas has put out for The Chosen that they haven't even watched yet, which is super interesting to me.
I saw it before anybody in this room. And
My
with my father's My daddy's the director.
Whoa.
And I got to see it first. I got to see it before everybody else in my living room and watched all 4 episodes in one night. So what'd you guys do?
Wow. Okay, well, I'll go next because mine's pretty quick. I mean, I watched it as soon as it came out.
Did you watch it?
Yeah. So for me, it was, at that point, I knew as soon as we filmed it, it was one of the best things that I had worked on as an AD. And I was like, so I immediately I watched it immediately. As soon as it came out, I watched it and I was excited about it. Yeah.
So you watched it when, because I know when it first came out, the first 4 episodes were, I think it was just on like the chosen.tv website. Right? Mm-hmm. You watched it in those days.
Yep. Yeah.
Nice.
As soon as it was available, I checked it out. I was
That's
excited
not
about it.
true.
Let's go.
He got sent a link from a producer.
Oh, that's true. So I did see it. I did see an early cut.
So wait, you got sent a link from a producer to watch it?
Yeah,
early.
I think either maybe Willie remembers better than I do.
Yeah, I do.
But I do remember getting an early screen. Go ahead, Willie. Tell my story because I don't.
Well, so
it was a long time ago.
I met this brother of mine on a project called Washington's Armor, and he had told me about it and told me about so much of the project and obviously Dallas and what it was like working on it, how special it was, how good he thought it could be. And
I think that's the question, right? Like the type of vocabulary that you use around something like this that you don't really know is like, oh, I think it could be good. I think it has really good legs, you know, like I think it has the potential to do something great, but you never quite know until you actually see it, right? Which I think is where Mitch is on part of this as well, and we'll get to there in a second.
Potentially would be, and he was waiting. He was going to wait until the entire first season came out before he watched it. He was just going to buy the entire first deal, and then one of the producers, Jen, said, "Oh, let me show you. Let me show you so you can see what we did, what we accomplished."
That's awesome.
And that was when you told me, you were like, "Dude, it's
real
deal."
And Willie definitely has a better memory on all that stuff. So that's probably 100%.
Willie remembers everything.
He does.
Willie
I'll even go back. This is not that episode, but I'll even go back and literally I'm shooting Washington's Armor. We're shooting it. So literally I go down to the Tech Scout where our producers and director is, and they said, and Dallas said, "Have you watched the show?" And I said, "No, actually, I was going to wait till the entire first season." And he said, "Why?" I said, "Because a wise friend of mine said I should just wait until the entire first season's out." He said, "Your friend sounds like an idiot."
So if you guys have not heard about Artza box, these come out once a quarter. I love these boxes. This box in particular, you can see has the Israeli flag on it. And this box is specifically to kind of remember and to support victims and survivors of the October 7th attack that happened in Israel. Go to artzabox.com and type in SNIPE20 at checkout, and that is where you'll get 20% off of one box or 30% off of a yearly subscription, which is a lot of money actually off of that box. First off, we got right here some date and cocoa balls filled with hazelnut butter. Here, this is called an ahava stone, or in other words, love stone. And what it says there in Hebrew, it says, "At the edge of the light, there is more light." So it's saying, even when you think the light is gone, there is more light to come. God is still good. This might be my favorite thing because it's what I buy every time I go to Israel, and I'm so glad this is in the box. This is a winter infusion. And so you put it in a glass, you put it with hot water, and then you can either cool it down for a cold drink or you can keep it hot for a tea. It's really helping local businesses to stay alive. And then on top of that, they're helping to support some of these victims from October 7th. I know a lot of people in the community have gotten their Artza boxes already. If you haven't gotten it yet, or if you haven't signed up for a yearly subscription or gotten even one box, use my code. It's 20% off of one box, 30% off of an annual subscription. That's artzabox.com. Use code SNIPE20. And yeah.
Your friend sounds like an idiot.
Oh man.
So let's give it to Benji.
Let's give it to
what about
Benji.
you?
Benji.
It was I had watched it with the first investor streaming. They had given all the investors who had like pitched in so much money the link to watch the pilot episode when it first came out on live stream.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if they do this anymore, but those that give money, I think it changed with Come and See, maybe, or changed the way that it operated. But I know they still do early screenings now of like when the show comes out for YouTube or for the app and stuff like that. They still do early screenings for, I think, the like actually invested people. But I don't think they do it for everybody that gives anymore. Before it was like if you gave a certain amount of money, you always got at least a day earlier than everybody else. You'd get a live stream that would show the episodes that were coming out. And so the first investor streams would have been when Ben's seeing it here. For me, I didn't catch on to the show until the whole first season was out. And so around Easter of 2020, I think is when we started watching the show. That's when a pastor colleague of mine was like, hey, you should check out this show. It's actually pretty good, unlike all these other shows, you know. And I was very skeptical at first, for sure. Very, very skeptical. But yeah, obviously, we got into it eventually there during 2020.
And so Dallas came over, gave a little 30-minute thing, and then I watched it with my whole family. Because we made a big deal out of it. Got pizza, which, I mean, the first episode's, 50 minutes long, but it was the first and, at the time, the only thing I had ever worked on that was actually coming out that I could show my family.
That's
So I was
awesome.
ecstatic.
Yeah. So you invested. You not only PA'd in those first 4 episodes, but you also gave money in the first 4. Is that right?
Yeah, dude. All of my paychecks went back into The Chosen so I could pay myself the second half of the season. It worked like clockwork. It got me a job 4 years later.
Let's go. You made this happen for all of us. This studio we're in is because of Ben Stockton.
My grandparents were actually one of the first big-time investors for the show.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Shout out to your grandparents. And
Shout out
their names
to
are...
Carl. Wait. Yeah.
These guys are such a mess, dude. So, a little bit of a sneak peek. I got to record an episode of The Brosen with them, which will come out eventually. But just being able to hang out with them for a few hours was like some of the craziest, like just like random things that would pop up. These guys are definitely they're just friends having fun, you know. It's really funny to be a part of it and to see it.
Joyce and Carl, let's go.
And their address is right up here.
That's right. Look at their address right here on the screen. You can send them a thank you note. Yeah. Here's a picture of Joyce and Carl Stockton.
This is what their house looks like. I think I watched when the entire first season came on whenever the episodes became available on the app or the Chosen. You know, at that time it was VidAngel.
I think it was, yeah.
I think it was
on the
VidAngel.
VidAngel app, the Angel app, yeah.
And I'm going to be really brutally honest with you folks. The first time or 2 times that I watched the show, I think I only got, and I have kids, at that time I had 3 kids, and I think I only got maybe 10, 20 minutes in, and both times, the first time, the flashback scene, I was out.
Like fell asleep, yeah.
I was like, snooze fest. I'm just kidding. I was tired. It was late.
Yeah.
And then the second time,
Father
I maybe
5.
did 20 minutes. Father
ADHD.
17. And then finally I said, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to start around 7 or 8 o'clock. And I watched the whole thing. And man, that payoff at the end, my whole body was in chills. And
That's awesome.
Wept.
I was real bad about this. You guys have to understand.
Mitch, yeah.
You have to understand.
Mitch still hasn't seen it.
I'm not 100% sure what the show is. No, what's crazy is, I don't know, at the time, most of the projects I'd worked on, I was like, oh, I had a really great experience on set. But you never know how it's going to turn out. You know?
I get where he's coming from with this, and I think it's because of Mitch's history, because the movies and things that he's worked with in the past have all been, like, as far as I know, and I don't know Mitch's history that well, so Mitch, if you're watching, please correct us in the comments, but from what I understand, he's worked on a lot of, like, Christian projects, right? And what do we know about Christian projects? Like, they're normally not very good. So I understand the habit that he's formed of, like, working on a project not because he wants to watch it, not because he wants to see the final product, but because he wants to do a good job on what he's doing, right? So I understand that portion of it. Although, like, come on, dude. Like, you have to watch the show that you're working on, you know? But I do understand where he's coming from. Like, if you're working on a Christian movie that's, like, trash, and you're like, yeah, I'm not even gonna watch it. Like I know it's not gonna be good. I saw what happened on set. Like, I had fun with people on set. I had some great memories, but like I know it's gonna be trash. I get that aspect of it, but maybe you didn't fully understand. Maybe he didn't fully understand like on set for The Chosen is going to be different, or this is going to turn out differently, or maybe he didn't have the full vision of what was going on. I don't know. It's funny though to think about someone who works on the show, who's really involved, and they have a faith background, and I don't know. It's interesting. I will say this though too. Mitch definitely isn't the demographic of The Chosen that The Chosen reaches. Most of all, of course, we know that the demographic for The Chosen is definitely skews older for sure, and it skews a lot more female as well. So Mitch definitely isn't the prime demographic that The Chosen has kind of captured since the very beginning. So maybe that's a portion of it as well. Although I like the show from pretty much the start, so maybe I'm just a little bit different. But yeah,
you know what I mean. So I was like, you know what, my memory of the show was great. If it goes well, awesome. And I hope to watch it at some point. And then honestly, I did not watch the episodes until I was in Utah prepping for season 2.
Bruh.
When we were about to go start season 2, I was like, you know what? I should watch season 1.
At home
and
in
I
Georgia?
watched all of season 1. I think I watched the first 2 episodes before I flew out there, and then I watched the rest of it in Utah.
Which reminds me
during
of the
prep.
story. When was the story then when Dallas approached you and asked you about an episode?
So yeah, when
and you had not seen the episode, and Dallas.
Dude, this is it's so crazy to me. I wonder what happens. Like maybe Mitch just has like other hobbies that he's like, it's a completely separate thing for him. And he just doesn't think about it. Like maybe it's just not something that he does normally. It's like sit down to watch a TV show. But I can't imagine that that's true because he works on film. Like, isn't that a passion of his? Like he's a director, a writer. Like isn't that a passion of his to see good film? I don't know. It's so interesting. I wonder where that comes from him.
Just gave you the most.
When we were on the tech scouts for season 4, Dallas came up and was like, "What did you think about the music in Defeating the 5,000 season 3?"
Yeah,
and I was like, "Oh man, so good."
So a year ago, he hadn't watched season 3. That's crazy to me. When they're on the tech scouts for season 4, so a little over a year ago, like a year and a half ago, he hadn't even watched season 3 going into season 4. That is crazy to me. How could he not? I mean, I'm sure he was at like the premieres and stuff. No, he had to have watched some of it, right? I don't know. That's crazy to me that he wouldn't have watched any of it going into season 4. That's nuts.
Okay.
He was like,
You didn't see it,
You didn't
did
see it? And I was like, I did not. I did not watch the episodes yet. And he was like, I can't believe you.
Yeah. So then the nonstop joke, still to this day, Dallas still is like, yeah, yeah.
He never believes me when I say I've watched it. He's like, you should actually watch this. I'm like, I do watch it. I love the show. 100% sure what this episode is. So we want to see where it all started, which is...
So anyway, I love that section of it, just the beginning of that episode there. If you guys want to check out the full Brosen podcast that they're doing over there, this episode was really, really fun. Talking about the first episode, breaking down the first episode of The Chosen. A lot of really cool insights here as to what they had to do to make that actually happen. And so I thought it was really, really great. But it's crazy to me. Like, let me know your comments. Let me know your thoughts in the comments for sure. Did you think that I could understand maybe some of the actors like not really wanting to watch it because they're maybe some of the crew or some of the cast or whatever are not like, you know, faith-based people. Like they don't really think about it. They're not religious in any way. And so they really don't want to see it, you know? I could get that side of it. But for Mitch, someone who is a believer, who's a director and a writer, someone who is like, you know, in that world, it's so crazy to me that he would be the one that hasn't seen the show. I wonder if he's seen all of season 4 yet. We'll have to ask him later for sure. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.